From pickdogs.com and sportschatplace.com. It is Saturday, July 25th, 2020, here with your live show. Of course, we're live 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Of course, our best bets always at our premium area, located on the Premium Picks tab on both of our websites. So be sure to check those out. I know that Chris and Rod and myself, we've been entering our premium picks. I think we've been doing pretty good so far. You know, we're not in this for a sprint. We're in this for a marathon. I didn't win them all yesterday, that's for sure. I was 2-1. But Major League Baseball underway. I watched a lot of the games. You know, the one thing that I kind of forgot about opening day, it's super chalky, right? It's just super chalky, man. And, it doesn't necessarily make for what the entire season is going to be. You have to remember, in the NFL, the Cleveland Browns have two of the longest losing streaks in NFL history. When did they break the losing streak? Their home opener. And what happened after that? They lost every game for the rest of the season and like almost all the games the next season. That's just what opening day does. But we'll adjust over time. We have certain teams that are a little slower starters, but we saw some very, very typical things yesterday too from a lot of the teams that we know and follow. But anyways, speaking about knowing and following, I'm going to bring in all the guys already. And good morning, guys. How you doing? We got Steve Monahan to my side on this way. Of course, Ruffalo and Zowacki in the corner wearing his Yard Goats hat. But anyways, we saw two things yesterday, super typical. That from a couple we saw more than two things, but we saw some typical behavior from some typical teams. Okay, I could name three off the top of my head. Just without even looking at going over the games. Number one, the A's scoring big runs late. Okay, clutch hits and big runs late and walk-off home runs and grand slams. Okay, Astros can't get out. The other team can't get out of the eighth inning. Right? Can't do it. And then the Phillies just absolutely underperforming. It's like clockwork. I mean, just pathetic. Right? I mean, there's no other word. Rod, pathetic or pathetic for Phillies?
Oh, just pathetic. Like, look at their payroll and how much money they spend, and they can't win a thing. Ugly. Yeah. They make some money off the Phillies this year.
Steve, the good and the bad from opening day. How about you? What was the good and the bad?
The Braves and the Mets. I mean, DeGrom did not disappoint. 5 stellar innings, but the Met bullpen shut out the Braves the rest of the way, which is an unusual takeaway. The Red Sox Orioles. I thought the Red Sox were going to pound the Orioles. The Orioles are going to have a long year again, I think.
But I think one thing that we've seen from the Orioles throughout the years, in the recent years when they've stunk up the joint like that, is that when they lose, they get absolutely pounded. When the Red Sox win, they absolutely pound teams. But we know that the Red Sox as well. Oh, man, what happened? I didn't change the date on this. Oh, crap. All right, I'll have to edit it on the fly. But anyways.
And then one other takeaway. The Dodgers, I really think, are going to play very well for 60 games.
I don't know, man. I don't think you could take... I don't think you could take 2 games against a team that's predicted to finish last in your division and all of a sudden hand the team, anything. I think that the Dodgers have had a hard time once it's got to the postseason, and with every game basically having the equivalent value of 2.7 games, I'd like to see the Dodgers against some of the better teams. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, against some of the better pitchers, against some of the better bullpens, against some of the better teams on the road. I mean, if they can't win this series, they're going nowhere. I mean, I just, to me, it's just a little too early, a little too front-running, right? Because I'm not a front-runner. I'm not a bandwagon jumper. I'm not one of those guys. It's a little too early to start, I'm not going to say the phrase I was going to say, from the wolf in Pulp Fiction. Let's just not do this just yet. You know?
Right, but coming into the season, the Yankees and Dodgers have been the favorites, right?
Yeah, but who cares? The favorites haven't gotten it done in how many years? I mean,
I'm just saying, after 2 games, the Dodgers look pretty good to me. That's all. And I know the Giants.
You want to go by the favorites? It's the Cubs versus the Yankees every single year, right? I mean, in the World Series. I mean, or something like that. It's the favorites rarely get it done. How many people had the Nationals to win the World Series last year?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'd say very, very few.
Not I.
Not I.
Not I either.
Not I. They were a wild card team, and they ended up winning the World Series. But a lot of baseball. We're not ready to talk about who's the best right now. We're talking the way that we do it on this show and what's worked for us, as a website for years. And by the way, I want to tell everyone. There was no spread knowledge show today. We were 2-0 in our spread knowledge picks yesterday. But there's no spread knowledge show today, at least not yet, because the ratings are down. All the information is out there on spread knowledge, but there's no ratings, so I can't do the show because it's got to be a B+ or better, right? And it's got to fit all these parameters to be on the show. But both of yesterday's spread knowledge picks were winners. I've talked to Charles. He knows there's an issue, and he's working on it. And I guess usually if it's not fixed really fast, then the issue might be a little bigger than we think it is. So I'm not going to bug them. There's nothing worse. I have websites. I have problems on the website. There's nothing worse than people pointing it out over and over and over again that there's a problem, when it's like when you've already said there's a problem, right? Like the other day, I said there was a grading problem on the picks, and then other people, they come back, by the way, your picks grading is wrong. It's like, it's kind of like, I call that kicking somebody when they're down. I know a lot of people don't see it. Yeah, the favorites really getting it done. I mean, that's really at the end of the day, it's been all favorites, it's been all favorites.
Then add a run line in there and get rid of that juice, and it's not so bad.
Yeah, but it's like
winners.
We know.
We know that it's not the favorites aren't. This isn't going to roll. That some dogs.
No. This is just. But I think another thing that we're seeing, though, another thing that we're seeing. So the grades are up for spread knowledge now. So I'll do the spread knowledge show after this show. Okay, is the way that we'll do it. I'll do the computer pick show after this one. These picks good, anyone? I don't know, man. We've been doing it for 14 years, 1.7 million viewers a month. We have 5 million viewers a month to our website. I don't know, man. Maybe we're doing something right. I mean, it's like, we don't win them all. If you think we're going to win every single game, you've come to the wrong place. But you're looking for...
It's a little early. We got to see how.
It's like, I mean, I understand. In all fairness to Elijah, it's like probably his first time he's ever been here. And it's like, I know our YouTube exposure. We never really went for the big YouTube with just our sports chat brand, but we have kind of gone big YouTube on Pick Dogs. So it's probably his first time with us. So he might not know us, and that's fine. But welcome, man. Welcome to our show. If you've never been here before, to everyone that hasn't been here before. But anyways, we keep it dead serious on this and super professional at all times. I don't know. Snyder likes Eskimos. That's all I gotta say.
Right.
Eskimo? I love Eskimos. I was laughing all day about that. It's like it's my own joke and I'm laughing at it. It's like.
Oh yeah, now they're going to be the 39ers.
It's like
now they're going to be the Edmonton 39ers.
It's like let's do what Edmonton did. Sure, I love Eskimos.
You just switch the logo and it looks like a 39, so you don't have to change much.
I just can't get past. I can't get past the bit.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I just can't.
I just can't believe Washington stole it.
It's
like Washington's just like, we're going to steal that.
It's unbelievable.
Are we surprised by anything Dan Snyder does at this point?
No,
not at all.
That's still hilarious.
It's just pretty unbelievable. Anyways, we got a full card of Major League Baseball. So let's just get into it. It's going to take a little bit. We got the Cubs and the Brewers. And this game yesterday was pretty typical for a Cubs-Brewers game. Kyle Hendricks, pretty much what we thought, that he was going to be very, very tough at home. Very, very tough. And, Woodruff held his own for a while. The Cubs are going to hit some home runs. This is what they do. They get a couple home runs, and you got to beat them. And the Brewers, they had some chances, but it's very, very tough. If you can't get to Hendricks, you get into that bullpen is going to be your better chance, but it's like if you let Hendricks roll over you, he's going to go too deep into the game. And that is what kind of happened there. And it's not like the first time we saw it. And this is why, we kind of treaded lightly on that one. But today we got you garbage on the mound for the Cubbies against Brett Anderson. Hey, Brett Anderson, the Sean Lee of the Brewers for sure. He's been around the league, and he's played. This is a guy that's played with more teams than games he's pitched, right? So, Darvish, I have to say, I've been somewhat encouraged at the second half of last season. I thought he really picked up his game. So, Rod, I know you got a few things to say. I kind of cut you off and ran you over there in the commentary. What do you got to say about yesterday and today on this stuff?
Yesterday's game, that was a pretty good game versus the Cubs. Woodruff hasn't fared so well against the Cubs in his history, anyways. And today's game, I'm gonna take the Cubs again. Yu Darvish last year against this same Brewers team. He's in 2 starts. He only gave up 1 run, 15 strikeouts. And Yu Darvish looked real good the second half of last season. He wasn't the guy that we were bashing for a while. We can't call him Yu Garbage. He looked actually pretty good.
He looked pretty good the second half.
Wow, he looked really good.
He did. How about you, Chris?
I'm gonna take the Cubs again.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm seeing Corbin Burns starting for the Brewers, and if that's the case,
yeah, I have the wrong thing. I'm back to the right ones. I have Burns as well.
Yeah, if that's the case, I'm going with the over here. I don't see anything all that special about Yu Darvish over the year. I know he had a
right. No, he's better than he was. He's not.
Yeah.
We've lost Steve, but he'll be back. There he is. Go ahead.
He is better than he was, no, for sure. But I still think we see some scoring here. I could easily see this being a 6-4, 7-4 kind of game where both teams get their share of runs. So I'll take the over here.
Steve?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the over, too. I think a lot of runs will be scored today. The Brewers, Hendricks was really lights out yesterday.
He's been that way at home. We knew that going in that it's like if it's that Hendricks, we're probably in trouble. He's he gets shelled on the road. So
yeah. But I like the
That's
over here, and I actually like the Brewers to bounce back.
Yeah, the value against Hendricks is always on the road. It's just usually the Brewers know how to get under the Cubs' skin at Wrigley, and so so do the Pirates. That's for sure. So we'll be watching that. Got a question here from Bubba W. And do you ever get tongue twisted on repeating those pick videos? Yes, I do all the time. I did 23 videos for today, so. There was 23 videos that were posted today. I probably shot 31. Yesterday, I did it. I was up at 2:30 in the morning my time yesterday working and getting the site together and everything like this and working with all the handicappers. We're still working through a lot of the glitches and stuff. And so I was up at 2:30 in the morning. Then I played 18 holes of golf. I shot like 80 and still lost $5. And Henry, a guy I play with, 82 years old, shot his age, legit. It was like, it's the best putter I know, and one of the best putters I ever see. But Henry shot his age, 82. To me, better than a hole in one. Better than a hole in one. You shoot your age at 82. Pretty solid stuff. Good. On our course. On our course with a 137 slope and a 75 1, that is U.S. Open. That is. It's like it's U.S. Open. It's not like your corner municipal course with like a 118 slope. It is our course has some serious teeth. But anyways, yeah, I get tongue twisted. So I was doing the videos and I was pretty much exhausted, and you could see it in the videos. But I was totally tongue twisted in the videos. Yesterday was. Usually I can roll through them, but some days are just really really hard. But anyways, I just love saying "you garbage," even though he's not really as much garbage anymore. It was those of you that missed that last year, someone came on and in the comments they said "you garbage," and it was like. it just took off, and we did a whole "you garbage" thing, but then of course everyone got carried away with it, and everyone was garbage, and it was kind of like, so it's like we had to do away with it. We had too much fun with "you garbage," but I'm with Ruffalo here. I like the over. Let's head to Fenway Park, where man was it over yesterday. It was over in a hurry, and it was over. The game was over. Everything was over. It was the Red Sox and the Orioles. 1:35 Eastern Time start at Fenway Park. Alex Cobb, big time disappointment last season for the Orioles. We got Martin Perez on the mound for the Red Sox. What do you think, Chris? What do you like here? I know you're a Boston type guy.
Yeah, not. I don't know about here. I mean, I'm definitely going to take the over here. I see these two pitchers getting tossed around a little bit, but for a side, I would lean towards Boston on the run line just off of what we saw yesterday, and I think Steve's right. I think the Orioles are going to be in for a long year, but I definitely like the over in this spot.
Rod is frozen with a surly look on his face. Steve?
Yeah.
Gotta love that frozen look from Rod. The thing about Rod is like we've got his camera really dialed in now too, and his lighting is really good, so it looks really good.
That's the stink face when you say we got the Orioles and Red Sox with Cobb and Perez.
Hey, are these matchups overall really lousy, like for the opening? Is it me, or is it like every game, every series is like, let's get the worst teams against the best teams, except for the Braves Mets? Rod is back. You're frozen in like one of the best positions. You'll have to go back and watch the tape. But
oh man,
Steve,
one of those frozen moments where you're like, "Yay, look at me!"
All right, where were we? Where are we on, Rod? Is that where we are?
We're I'm taking
Red
Boston.
Sox Orioles. Yep.
Yeah, I'm taking Boston. Give me Boston on the run line, even -2.5. I don't trust in this Cobb. He pitched 3 games last year off of injury. So, and his career, he's got a 3.85. He's a 53 and 52 and 8 MLB. So he's a 50-50. He's a coin toss. Literally, he's a coin toss. Alex Cobb is a coin toss.
Martin Perez has not been exactly a gem throughout his career either. I mean, it's not like Cy Young's 500 wins, right? I mean, Walter Johnson or something.
Exactly. I was going to say Pedro.
Steve, what do you got here?
I'm with the guys. I'm all in on the Red Sox. JD Martinez alone will probably drive in 6 runs today. So I like the over and the run line with the Red Sox.
I'm less confident than you guys. I think you have to take the Red Sox from what we saw yesterday, but I think at the same time, probably a game I'm not going to bet unless I go over, like Ruffalo said, because I just think that the Red Sox, as much as, like, this is what they always do. It's always these 15, 18-run games when they win. And then all of a sudden, the Blue Jays come to town and they're swept, and marathon day, and it's like a disaster, and it's like we see it all the time. It's not, it's not like it's a rare thing, and that's why we've made a living off of betting against the Boston Red Sox over the years, because these are the types of games that they lose. They're -200, -210, and plus 180 on the take back. The world is on the Red Sox here, and that's when they usually let it down. By the way, those of you who are new to our channel, be sure to subscribe. We keep track of our subscribers right back here on our little clock, and those of you that haven't been keeping score or whatever, you'll notice we have over 300 subscribers in the last 2 days. And this, when you get past a certain point in subscribers, YouTube rounds them up, so we actually have like 370 new subscribers over the last 3 days. So thank you to everyone that joins us and subscribes. But anyway, speaking of joining and subscribing, the Twins and the White Sox came out like Hearns Hagler yesterday. I mean, it was another one. Luke Giolito the ball didn't even get out of his hand. It was already out it was already out of the park. Guaranteed Rate Park is a hitter's ballpark. Make no mistake about it. If I could catch a home run ball there, that means a lot of balls got hit into the stands at Guaranteed Rate. So I've caught a home run ball there. this is one of those games that's like if you're going to the park, bring a glove. Dallas Keuchel making his first start for the White Sox. What Keuchel are we going to see? On the other side, Randy Dobnak for the Twinkies. Chris, try to not say Twinkies when you're on. I know what happens, but I'm going. He's like,
my stomach just started grumbling.
Cream-filled pastry.
All of a sudden, I'm zoned in on all the games as soon as I hear Twinkies. No, I like the over here as well. I mean, I think we see sort of something close to what we saw yesterday, back and forth. Dobnak pitched well in a small sample size last season, but I don't know if I'm ready to jump on him on opening weekend here. And Keuchel wasn't very great last year again for the Braves, so I don't know if that translates to Chicago. I'll take the over.
I'll tell you, so far the disadvantage of not having fans in the stands is to the underdogs. That's what you've seen because it's been all favorites. So
Yeah.
It seems that the underdogs, especially, we haven't really seen home dogs. Well, there's been very few home dogs here too. So I think we'll have to see how it affects the home dogs. Like when the Yankees, we'll see how the Yankees do today against Strasburg, right? We'll see. Scherzer got him 11 times. Maybe it's like here's a guy that can get him another 11. We'll see what
15.
happens. Yeah, it could be a big number. No one there to put the K's up. Maybe they'll get a guy like with the pumped in crowd noise. They'll get someone to put the K's up on that thing. I don't know. But anyways, we got the Twins and the White Sox. Rod.
I think this is going to be. It's almost like it's definitely going to be a back and forth battle here. I'm going to take the White Sox to get a win here. Bounce back after yesterday, and you got to win.
Steve?
I'm going with the Twins in the over. I think the Twins have, like we talked about, Donaldson and Sano and guys like that. I'm not, like Chris said, Keuchel didn't pitch real well last year. So I don't know what he's going to offer today, but I'm going to go with the Twins in the over.
Well, I think what we saw yesterday, for me, in this White Sox-Twins game is that no one's going to take no for an answer. I mean, when a team puts a 5 spot on you and you come back and put a 5 spot on them, and then they put another 5 spot on you, well, the total on this one's only 10. So, I mean, it seemed like they left a lot of meat on the bone there. I'm going to take the over in the Twins-White Sox game. Let's head to St. Louis, where the Cardinals left a lot of people disappointed yesterday, getting a win, not covering the run line. So a lot of people bet these heavy favorites on the run line, and the Cardinals giving up the meaningless run in the 9th inning to make it a 5-4 game instead of covering the run line. Today they go back at it. Adam Wainwright, who has not been Adam Wainwright for quite some time. I don't know how he does it. I don't know why they don't move him into that Dennis Eckersley role. And then Trevor Williams, a guy who, I mean, it's like playing for a team that like nobody really, an under the radar, smaller market team, and a guy that doesn't get a lot of press. This guy's just hated. I mean, people just hate this guy. Chris, how much do you hate Trevor Williams?
Not as much as I hate the Cardinals after yesterday, but no, I'm still going to go with the Cardinals here. I just, again, think they're the better team. The price isn't that juicy. Don't have to lay the run line on this one. I think minus 150 is kind of on my fringe, but yeah, I'll go with the Cardinals here.
Rod?
I think you warned us yesterday about the Cardinals, and they're not covering the run line too. I remember you saying that because I was like, "Oh, take the Cardinals in the run line. We should be good." And you were like, "Don't do it." So today I'm gonna go with the Pirates. Give me the Pirates on the money line. I think they got a chance with Williams on the mound and Wainwright. Yeah, he still has a 4 ERA. So the Pirates got a shot. Give me the Pirates here.
Steve?
I'm on the Cards here. I think Wainwright will actually pitch real well today. And I'm going to go with the Cardinals.
I'm going to go with the I'm gonna go with the Cardinals on the run line this time. I just think that they're gonna give up a lot of runs. They're gonna score a lot of runs. This will be a high scoring game, and I like the run line for the Cardinals. You know what? I used to like Trevor Williams because he can pitch 2 innings like you've never seen, you know, and then it's like, who is this? The same guy that was pitching last inning? It's like I can never figure this out. But we're getting plus 132 according to the patient picker that's on the run line with the Cards. It's good value for me. What do you guys think about the A's-Angels game and that starting with the runner on second base and the extra innings? You saw that the Angels, they sent the runner on the ground ball, and the A's got him in the rundown, and it kind of put out the fire right away. On the other side, the Angels got into trouble, and then here comes the meatball. You know, we've seen the A's do this a million times, right? So what'd you guys think of that, starting with the runner on second? I still like the Gary Sheffield model of the manager should be allowed to send to the plate whoever he wants. I think it would be better.
I mean, for me, I don't know if they implemented a rule against this, but maybe you're going to start to see a lot more managers opting for a intentional walk on the first guy to come up to the plate to maybe set up a double play to sort of negate that leadoff runner. But I mean, it puts pressure on the opposing pitcher right out of the gate, and we kind of saw the Angels fall apart near the end there, and then obviously give up the walk-off grand slam.
What a novel concept. Could the bunt actually come back to Major League Baseball with the runner on second and you bunt him over to get to third? Maybe
Yeah,
not.
well, what if it's Giancarlo Stanton that's at the plate, or Aaron Judge
right.
or something, you know?
I'd rather him bunt than strike out.
You think Aaron Boone? You think Aaron Boone's got enough to? I mean, you got Aaron Boone, you know, as your manager. It's like you think that Stanton's gonna like bunt if this guy? He's gonna laugh in his face. I mean, Aaron Boone, what a joke. Anyways, we got the Rays and the Jays. So we got the Yard Goats up against back in Tampa after taking it yesterday. Chris, what do you think? We got Ryan Yarbrough on the hill against Matt Shoemaker. We've seen Shoemaker before. You know, this is another guy, uniform changer.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a shot on the Yard Goats again. I mean, you know, they played well yesterday, and Shoemaker, he's a good pitcher. He's just had a bad run of luck. He had that line drive a couple years ago that unfortunately hit him in the head, and then he tore his ACL in the first couple starts last year. I think it's going to be the year we kind of get to see what he's got, and Yarbrough's a good pitcher, but again, I think the Blue Jays just steal this one late, so I'll take the Blue Jays at plus money.
Rod?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Jays, sneak out a win here, but I also like the under more in this game. I think we'll have a little more pitcher battle. I don't think we get as many runs as we've seen yesterday. Give me the under and the Jays.
Steve?
I'll take the under and the Tampa Rays. I think Shoemaker is a good pitcher. Injuries aside, I expect a low-scoring game today, but I like the Rays today to win this game.
I like the Rays here. I think maybe they bounce back against the Jays, and I like the way that they were gaming it. You know, they didn't like just lay down, and you know, they played that gutsy style, kind of like the A's do. This is no one's gonna sweep this series. That's for damn sure. Anyways, we got the Phillies against the Marlins yesterday. Aaron Nola got tagged a little bit, and then I don't know. They had their share of chances, but as Chris and I both said on the show yesterday, Alcantara is the Marlins' best player. He is their best player. He's the guy that they're gonna trade, and they're gonna hold somebody hostage, and they're gonna get like the entire Yankee farm system or something. Basically what's going to happen here as soon as Paxton blows out his elbow today, right? I mean, this is what we know. It's clockwork, right? Anyways, Chris, what do you think? Marlins do it again with Caleb Smith, who has a really good record against the Phillies.
I was going to say, I think that the Marlins do it again here. I mean, Zach Wheeler's making his debut for the Phillies, but he's stifled the Marlins, but Caleb Smith isn't a bad arm for Miami. He was arguably their best pitcher last year, record wise. So take Miami at plus 165. I'll take a shot.
Rod?
For Wheeler at home is usually been money. I would lean the Phillies bounce back and get the win here. I take the Phillies on the run line here. I mean, the Phillies. I think they bounce back and get a win.
Steve?
Yeah, I think the Phillies bounce back. Zach Wheeler making his Phillies debut. I think I like the over here. I think the Phillies are going to score a lot of runs tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. I originally took the Phillies in to bounce back in my video, but I'm kind of thinking maybe the Marlins do have a puncher's chance. I really like betting against the Phillies. I just really enjoy it. So I'm not gonna either I'm not gonna bet it or I'm gonna probably switch course and take the Marlins here because it's like it just kind of betting on the Cubs, the Red Sox, and the Phillies are just really hard things for me to do, and it just is. It's just against
I'm definitely not running to the window to bet this game.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
woohoo!
Yeah, if I'm running to the window, it's Marlins. It's Marlins, right? Meanwhile, we got the Texas Rangers up against the Colorado Rockies. The Rangers in a low-scoring game yesterday with Lance Lynn on the mound. Man, that was a good one, and it came all the way down to the end. But the Rangers a 1-0 winner. Once again, not covering the run line. One of the rare favorites not to cover the run line. The Rangers today go with Mike Minor, who has could be a Cy Young Award winner if he ever could hold it together for an entire game. And John Gray, who throws, it's like he's one of those guys that throws, and it's kind of like you could feel the ball through the TV, just how heavy and hard he's throwing it, but somehow he still gets hit, It's there used to be a reliever for the Orioles that, like, when I would go to the games and I would see this guy, his name was Arthur Rhodes. And when he would throw in the bullpen, you could just hear the crack, against the catcher's mitt. Like, it just felt like he was throwing like a shot put or something. And that's the same thing that I see from John Gray. But, what I also see from John Gray is that, I don't know, some guys with a wooden bat hit that shot put right out of the building. Chris, what do you think here?
I'm going to take a shot with Texas here. I mean, Mike Minor, the problem with him is he starts out well and then he sort of fades off near the end of the season. I mean, he had an ERA over 6 in September last year, but I think he gets out to a quick start here. I don't know if Colorado bounces back just yet. We kind of saw Texas shut him down a little bit yesterday, so I'll side with Texas again here, minus 120.
Rod?
I'll take the Rockies and Gray here. Give me the Rockies and the plus money here. I think the Rockies definitely bounce back and get a win here today.
Steve?
With Chris and the Rangers, I think Mike Minor will pitch well. I think the Rangers win their second in a row.
I think we're going to see more than one run in this game like we saw yesterday.
Yeah.
I think so too, yeah.
I think that's a fair bet.
Yeah, maybe the new ballpark is not a hitter's park. I mean, that's also part of that could also be something a little different. We don't know. You never know until they get in there, right? We go to our next game. We got the Astros and the Mariners. Taijuan Walker on the mound for the Mariners. We got Lance McCullers Jr. on the mound for the Astros. Now, yesterday, Rod and I said, let's find out how many runs we can lay with the Astros and continue to bet it. And that's exactly what we did. And, of course, it was just money. And, when we talked about in the Facebook group about potential Cy Young Award winners for the American League, my pick was Lance McCullers Jr. He's 40-1. Verlander, is the number one starter, obviously, for the Astros, but he's going to go against number one, so he's got a little tougher course to get there. Of course, he's going to have the numbers, right? But he's got a little tougher route to get there, So I think McCullers in a number two spot can put up the same numbers, or similar numbers to Verlander, but I think he's better in the win-loss column as a number two. Just my thought process on why I think there's value there at 40-1 on McCullers to win the Cy Young. Anyways, this is up against the Mariners that were batting practice yesterday. Chris?
I'm going to take a shot with the over here. I like McCullers Jr. just as much as you do, but his first start back.
You
from
can't
Tommy
like him as
John-
much as I do. Almost as much.
Fine, close second. Close second. But
It's just not
but
possible.
I need to see how he is in his first start back after Tommy John. So expect there to maybe be a little bit of a pitch count or an innings limit here. And Taiwan Walker, again, another guy who's dealt with a lot of injuries the last couple of years. So I'll take the over, 9.5.
Rod?
I think we just keep doing what we did yesterday. Give me the Astros -4.5, -3.5, all plus money there. Give me those. I think they're going to beat up the Mariners. I think the Mariners. I looked at their schedule. I think they're going 0-14 to start the year.
It's
I'm a
possible.
bet against
But
them.
Walker's not horrible. And it's like you have to remember, no
It's
one
not
go,
horrible, but
it's
I
0 and
still say
14
they're
is
going
0 and 14 is rare. It's rare.
It's rare.
The
But-
Diamondbacks are capable of 19, 20 game losing streaks over the years, but those are pretty much the only ones we see. Steve,
We're
what do you-
definitely not seeing what the Mariners did last year when they started the season. What did they start 8-0, 9-0?
something like that.
They beat the Boston. They swept the Boston in that last year.
Well, everyone swept Boston last year. Steve, what do you like?
No, I'm with the Astros. I think they're going to score a ton of runs, especially against the Mariners, and definitely I'll take the over here with the Astros.
Yeah, if they let the limited fans into a game like this, I always say, bring a glove.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, we got the A's against the Angels. The most exciting game yesterday. I think some of those other one-run games were pretty exciting, but this one was the extra inning game. This was the game where the Angels were up 2-0 and let it get away. It is the A's. That's what they do, right? That is what they do. It's Billy Ball. The right guy is always up at the right time. It's an amazing thing, and it's been like this for the last 10 years. But normally we get a lot of value on the A's, and that's why we've liked the A's and we've made so much money on the A's. Is that we've always gotten value on them. We're not getting that value anymore. Now they're favorites, big favorites. -175 with Sean Manaea on the hill against Dylan Bundy, who we'll talk about him in a second. Chris?
Yeah, I'm looking at my line now. It shifted from Oakland -159, and now it's Oakland -130 with 69% of the public on Oakland.
All right, well there we go.
I'm saying that's scary.
All right, you know what it is? I looked at an opening line, and sometimes those opening lines are wrong.
Yeah. No, but that scares me a little bit. I'm still gonna go with Oakland just because I just don't like Dylan Bundy, but I'm gonna say buyer beware with this one. Be cautious.
Rod?
I'm gonna say Manaea pitches lights out. Give me Oakland on the run line.
Steve?
-1.5.
I'm right with Rod there. That's what I was thinking. I think Manaea pitches well, and like Chris said, I'm not a Dylan Bundy guy in the slightest. So I like the Oakland A's today on the run line.
I'm going with the Angels here. No one gets the cheap strike call like Joe Madden. Nobody gets the extended strike zone like Joe Madden. When we've seen Dylan Bundy in his very best games, he gets the extended strike zone. Jake Arrieta, when the year he won the Cy Young Award, before he came to the Cubs, was a home run giving up batting practice machine. I remember I lived in Chicago at the time when Arrieta was traded there, and it came from the Orioles, right? Same thing, and it's like all they showed when they got Arrieta there was him giving up home runs. That's what they showed on the news.
Sure.
Joe Madden somehow figured out a way to get Arrieta an extra 6 inches lower in the strike zone from the umpires. I don't know how he got it. I don't know what he did, but he got it. He got it to the point where I was at a game where the Pirates manager, and I could hear him because I was sitting by the on-deck circle, is yelling at the umpire saying, if you're going to give him that pitch, we might as well just go home because we can't win. Dylan Bundy has gotten some ridiculous calls over the years. His best games that he's ever pitched, he's gotten those Jake Arrieta strike zones. I think you give him that Jake Arrieta strike zone, he's going to beat the A's in this one. He's worth a shot. He's well worth a shot. Anyways, let's go to the Dodgers against the Giants. If betting minus 400 favorites is something that you like, and I know a lot of people in our Facebook group will act like they're champions of the world, and all around the internet talk about how great they are, how easy it's going to be, and then they give out a minus 400 favorite. It's just not even in my vocabulary. Chris, Alex Wood, and Logan Webb.
Yeah, I'm not putting a whole lot of stock in Alex Wood, but I am putting stock in what we've seen in the first two games from the Dodgers. I'll go with the Dodgers on the run line. I think you can push it to even minus 2.5 to get that price down.
Yeah, it's minus 350, minus 400, minus 370. It depends what book you're looking at. It's all over the map. At DraftKings, it's minus 400. At the Westgate Superbook, minus 370. I'm seeing minus 350 at William Hill and at FanDuel, as well as Stations Casinos. So this one is kind of all over the map. When you get into those high numbers, the spreads are all over the place, right? But they're still minus 350 and more. Still, put it this way: if you lose this game, it takes 3.5 wins just to make up for it. Rod?
So then you could actually go the other way, and you can take the Giants at plus 2.5 at plus 115, and game you win. I don't.
If you lose,
Dodgers are going to keep winning by 80. No. The only way I'm going to bet this game is that. If I'm going to bet this game, is the Giants plus 2.5 at the plus 115. But I sure ain't running to the window to bet this game.
No. Yeah, I'm the same exactly what Roger said. My thinking on this game as well. So I'm not going to even bet it, but if I did, I'd take the Giants here.
The only thought I could even give here about this game is I just think every time I think Dodgers and it's a lousy game like this, it's like there's that Curb Your Enthusiasm episode where Larry gets a hooker to sit in the passenger seat so he can use the carpool lane, and then she's smoking weed and the car gets busted. That's it's probably better than find that episode. It's better than this game. Anyways, we got the Mets against the Braves yesterday. Really just a great game. DeGrom and Soraka did not disappoint. Runs, hits, everything. Very, very tough to come by. And the guy who can really hit and, actually makes less money than he used to because he was injured. But still, also, he played DH. Yoenis Cespedes, of course, is who I'm referring to. But this guy has the best arm in baseball of any outfielder. He's got a Dwight Evans, Dave Winfield type arm, too, but he does it from left field, not from right like those guys did. But, Chris, we got Max Fried, who has been very disappointing throughout his career. Kind of one of those guys that always seems to have an excuse, against Steven Matz, who grew up in the shadows of Citi Field.
I mean, you can go back to Yoenis Cespedes in the arm. We saw Ronald Acuna almost pick off someone at second base yesterday from right field, so he's going to be right up there with some arm strength. But for this game, I think the Braves bounce back. I think more than one run gets scored here. I think they get to Steven Matz, who's been up and down, and I like Max Fried, so I'll take the Braves to bounce back here.
I know this isn't popular, but I'll put Yasiel Puig in that same discussion with Dave Winfield and Dwight Evans.
Not popular, but yes, that's a fair assessment.
Rod, who do you like?
I would lead the Braves. I like the over more. Give me the over in this game.
Braves in the over for me. They bounce back. Steven Matz. When he's on, but I think Matz gets lit up early in the season here.
Can't stand Max Fried. Anyways, got the Reds and the Tigers. Castillo against Nova. The Reds looked really good yesterday, but once again, they are playing the Tigers. The expectations from the Reds are a lot higher than we've seen in recent years. They have a good young team. Joey Votto got a home run yesterday. When I was watching the game. Sonny Gray. This guy, since coming to the Reds, has not given up more than 4 runs in a game. I mean, Sonny Gray has been lights out for the Reds since acquiring him.
And I find that to be so unbelievable being a Yankee fan and seeing what I saw out of Sonny Gray for about a year and a half. It's mind-boggling, actually.
Steve still.
But that's baseball.
Phelps. They said Phelps.
My baseball people told me Phelps. Phelps.
A lot of pressure in New York to pitch and perform well. You're under the big lights. It's not as easy to pitch and play in New York as people think it might be.
I don't think anyone thinks
little
it's
more of a
easy.
spotlight.
I don't think anyone that's ever read the New York Post thinks it's easy. That's for sure.
Eddie Lee Whitson, Ed Whitson. he's the poster child.
I'm telling you. But in this one, this by the way that Sonny Gray has pitched, it moves Castillo into the number 2 spot for the Reds, and he's a bona fide number 1. He is a bona fide number 1 guy. And the thing that we saw about Castillo, he's young, and he kind of had the Garrett Cole syndrome, where he gave up like 1 run and lost games, and he moves into a number 2 spot. He kind of gets a little bit of a cushion here. So I expect to see a lot better things out of Castillo in the number 2 spot. And I always talk about this, for years I've been talking about this on this show and just in general when I talk baseball. People are like, oh, this team stinks, they've done that or whatever. It's like when you lose your number 1 starter, when you lose your number 1 starter and you don't have Zach Greinke as your 1A, which he is a career 1A guy, right? Zach Greinke. You don't have your 1A, you're in big trouble because everybody has to move up. So your number 2 is against their number 1, your number 3 is against their number 2. But if you have 2 number 1s like Scherzer and Strasburg, or Scherzer and Verlander, what the Tigers were, or the Reds with Sonny Gray and Castillo, you are in business. And that is the difference between this year's Reds team and some of the Reds teams we've seen in the past. Plus, Amir Garrett in the bullpen just seems to be, that's where he belongs, man. He is. Chris?
Yeah, I have a premium pick on this game, but it's on the side. So on the total, I like the under here. I think we don't see a very high scoring game, right? I could easily see this hitting 6 runs, 7 runs by the end of the game. So I'll take the under.
Rod?
And I'm exactly the same as Chris. I have a premium pick on this on the side, and I'll lean the under here. Give me the under at under 9 at plus 110.
Steve?
Yeah, I'm with the guys. Same philosophy on this one. Absolutely. Give me the under.
I love the over in this one. I think in that ballpark, we're going to see a lot of runs with Ivan Nova pitching, who, like Lance Lynn, born with the bases loaded, except this guy actually gives up the hit with the bases loaded. So I like the over in this one. If you don't follow Howard Stern on Instagram, take a look over on his Instagram account. Yesterday he posted his interview with Pete Rose from a few years ago, and it was awesome. Talking about how baseball players get into the Hall of Fame and who makes those decisions. He's like, the purists, and how Howard, talked about the baseball purists, the writers, let's see one of those guys, get 4,000 hits and then say you can't get into the Writers Hall of Fame. It's let somebody who has nothing to do with what they do, come in and act like they, Howard was awesome, it's just, and then he drew up a plaque for Pete on a piece of paper. It's old. It was an old interview, but it's awesome. So check out Howard's Instagram. Definitely worth a look. But Cleveland Indians taking on the Royals, and Bieber, baby, woo! He was lights out. The Royals, they played as good as the Royals could play, but as the old saying goes, if you score 0 runs, you're not going to win. Chris, what do you think about today's matchup with Mike Clevinger, who now was a 1 last year, a brief stint as a 1. Now he moves back to a number 2. Clevinger is a guy that came from the bullpen to the starting rotation, and he's like kind of one of those guys too that throughout his career, he's been on the opposite end of some of the greatest pitched games you'll ever see. right? He's been the other guy that gave up the one run against like Felix Hernandez mowing down a perfect game. It's like he's the guy, right? What do you think of the Indians here against Brady Singer?
Yeah, this is my other premium pick on Pick Dogs and Sports Chat place. But again, I'll do the totals. I gave out the side. For me, the total 9. I like the under here. I think we see more than 2 runs, but I think 9's a little bit much. So I'll take the under.
Rod?
I think we're going to see a clubbing. Give me the Indians -2.5 plus 120.
Steve?
Same thing as Rod. Absolutely. I think this is a great bet for today. Anything against the Royals for the next 60 games is
I'll go with the
gonna be good.
I'll go with the Mr. T on this one. Pain. Anyways, we'll go to the Yankees and the Nationals. Of course, these teams only played a little over 5 innings against each other. The Yankees had some guys on base, but whatever. The lefty Paxton on the mound for the Yankees. He's healthy for this one. The over-under on James Paxton games pitched in a 60-game season, it's got to be 4, right? But
yeah, it's a little high. Yeah.
Steven Strasburg, the World Series MVP. The Nationals had a decision to make in the offseason. They could either sign Anthony Rendon or Steven Strasburg. They could not afford to sign both. They went with Strasburg. Obviously, they've really this guy's career from day one until picking up the trophy last year. They have handled. I mean, we all criticized them for shutting him down that year. That it was like, you're going to shut him down when you have a chance to make the postseason in the World Series. It's like, what if you never have that chance again? Well, they all did the big screw you to us last year and said, we're the ones that know what we're talking about. And if you knew what you were talking about, you'd be doing what we're doing. So hats off to the Nationals for that. I can admit it when I'm wrong. Of course, I like to dish it out. I don't love to take it, but, I sometimes you have to, right? And that's really one of those cases where open mouth, insert foot on that one for me, for sure, because I definitely did talk a big game about them shutting down Strasburg. But anyways, they know exactly how much this guy's got in the tank because they really have monitored every single pitch of his entire career. So they would not, when they have that decision between Rondon and Strasburg, it would have been easy if they felt that Strasburg was kind of at the end of his rope, even though he had the World Series MVP under his belt. It would have been very easy. You have to think that Strasburg has plenty left in the tank because it's not like, some of these other teams where they just throw money at guys. It's kind of like the Nationals, very methodical, very much a building process throughout how they've done it, right? Soto's still out, but the Nats plus 120 on the take back here. Chris?
Yeah, you almost convinced me to switch teams and jump on the Nationals here, but I'm going to stick with the Yankees. I like what they did against Max Scherzer in the opener, even if it was only 5 innings.
You like the 11 strikeouts?
I like the 4 runs that they had, only giving up 1. So
11 strikeouts in 5 innings.
But they also got 4 runs off of a pretty good Max Scherzer. So I think James Paxton holds his own here.
11.
And I'll take the Yankees on the money line here.
Rod?
Tough game. I don't see him getting through murderer's row. Give me the Yankees on the run line. The Yankees minus 1.5.
He beat the Astros.
Plus 125.
Beat the Astros a bundle of times last year, and they knew what pitch he was throwing. Steve?
I'm going with the Nats today. Steven Strasburg, Paxton. This is his first start since being hurt. Paxton, I watched him last year. He didn't really warm up until a few starts in, and he's a much better pitcher than Mitch will ever give him credit for. I can tell you that. But I think it's too early right now. I think he gets lit up. I like the Nats in the over.
I'm not saying Paxton's a bad pitcher. Paxton, when he's in, he's great. He was great in Seattle, and I think he's good with the Yankees. The problem to me is it has nothing to do with his ability or his performance when he's on the field. But if there's a pitcher that's going to be scratched during pregame warmups, this is the guy.
It's
So
him.
if you're betting this game, bet it without the listed pitchers. Because then you're going to have to hurry to get your bet in again, because this is the guy in the pregame warmups that feels the twinge, and all of a sudden it's, someone else that you never heard of pitching for the Yankees, right? And then, you're not going to get this price on Strasburg against, anybody else, and you're not going to get this price, you're not going to get any of these other bets, and they're going to cancel your bet, is what's going to happen. So I would say, in this one, I like the under, because I do think Paxton is good. I just think, like I said, Steven Strasburg beat the Astros, who knew what pitches he was throwing.
Right.
I mean, that is not an easy thing to do. And we've seen what the Astros have done, without that. I mean, it's not like they can't hit, even not knowing what the guy's throwing. But somehow it seems like they still know what they're throwing, right? Anyways, we got the Padres up against the Diamondbacks. I was really surprised in this one yesterday. This was a tight game. For most of the game, the Padres blew it open late against the Diamondbacks. Bumgarner pitched pretty well. Paddock was pretty impressive as well. It was pretty much a 3-0 game a lot of the way. Then it was 3-1, and then they scored the one, and then the Padres came back and piled on a bunch of runs late. But I thought it was a super competitive game. We get the Nielsen Lamet. We bet him big and often when he first came up from they got him from the Mexican. I don't remember the exact Mexican team, but I know their nickname was the Chihuahuas, and we were super excited about that. We had a good time with it. But Robbie Ray, another guy who can deal. If Lamet is on his game, the issue with Lamet is he throws 155 miles an hour, but he also is a 5-inning guy too. So it's like, the problem I have with the heaters, with the guys that throw the real heat, like this guy does, is that it's almost like, you ever go to the batting cage and you go in against the goose, right? You put in a couple quarters, you hit some balls against the goose. Then you go in against the 70-mile-an-hour machine, and it's almost like the balls are coming in slow motion. And that's what happens when you have a fireballer like this, because your middle reliever is not going to throw the heat that this guy does. It's doubtful the closer does either. But, Chris, what do you think here? D-backs and the Padres. Padres favored for 2 nights in a row. I think that's. I wonder when's the last time the Padres have been favored 2 games in a row.
Yeah, I don't know, but for this game, I'm going to take the over 8. Lamet, it's like you say, he's a 5-inning guy in 2 career starts against Arizona. He's only gone 8 innings, and he's given up 15 runs. So it's
he's a 5-inning guy, man.
So that's where
I love him.
with Lamet.
I love him because I like him because we were on him early, and no one had seen him, so he had gotten so much value. The thing, what Lamet are we going to get? I mean, in all fairness, he has been injured.
Yeah.
The guys that throw that hard get injured. They throw so hard they hurt
they do,
themselves.
100%. But I think Robbie Ray gets tagged up a little bit as well, so I'll take the over 8 here.
What's a baseball game if Robbie Ray doesn't walk 6? Rod.
Wait, that exists? A baseball game where he doesn't walk 6?
I don't think so. It's like, how in the hell can this guy not find the plate? It's like you're sitting there. It's like, what am I watching? It's like,
exactly.
is this like the Rangers bullpen or something?
He can't even find the plate in his kitchen.
Yep.
Oh.
For me in this one, it's a premium pick. I have the winning side over at pickdogs.com in my premium picks. For me, I think it's going to be like kind of what we've seen yesterday. I think it's going to be a low scoring first half. So I'll give you the under 4.5 the first 5.
Steve?
I'm actually with Chris here. I'm going to take the over. I think a lot of runs will be scored here.
I like the Diamondbacks to bounce back. I don't think the Padres can win 2 games in a row. I just don't think that that's a high probability. Robbie Ray coming off of a career high in strikeouts last year, 235, which is a pretty good number. Of course, 84 free passes as well. So, career high in strikeouts, career high in walks. I don't know, 4.34 ERA, so he gives them up in bunches. He's certainly not going to be a number 1 on most of the other teams out there, but he's always sitting on a big one. But anyways, that wraps up Major League Baseball for today. We've gone over every single game on the card, so we have them all covered at the. We have all the games covered at both websites, so at pickdogs.com and sportschatplace.com. I did YouTube videos on all these games. We have premium picks on these games. That's under the premium picks tab on our website. Let's go to the NBA. The show's running so long, we're almost running into the start of these NBA games. We got the Lakers and the Magic kicking it off. Steve, anything on this one? Put it this way, the show's gone so long, we got a point spread on this one. It opened with the Lakers +5. Now they are Lakers -5. Now they're -7.
Game's already started.
Magic.
In game?
Lakers.
Anyone?
I'm
Lakers in game.
I'm crossed out on my book, so we're trying to give you a number.
In game, baby, in game.
They've got it off on my book right now, so it's like what I'm looking at. It's in game.
All right,
I
Bucks
still think
Kings.
Lakers.
Bucks -9.5 against Sacktown. Chris?
I like the Bucks.
Rod?
I like the Bucks as well. You can in-game. WNBA starts today. Here's an in-game for you. Take the New York Liberty +14.5. That's an insane number. It has. I don't even think they've tipped off or they've just tipped off. But take the New York Liberty +14.5.
Steve?
Yeah, I'm in on the Bucks.
Yeah.
I don't care that it's 9.
Yeah, me neither. The Bucks look great in their first preseason game, and they've looked good all season. I'll tell you what, the next game is the line's not out yet, but it's pretty good games this season so far, and that's the Jazz and the Heat. The weird thing is that Miami did well at home in these games, even when the Jazz were hot. Chris, what do you think about this one?
This is one of the better games on the card, I think, and for that reason, I'll have to take the Heat here. It depends on the line, but I think the Heat are just a little bit better than the Jazz.
Is there such thing as a better game on a scrimmage card? Rod?
I think so.
Give me the Heat here too. I think.
Yep.
I think they're going to come out here with a number that Jazz is like -2.5, -1.5.
It's going to be right on. Yeah.
I'm
So we
all
might
in
be
on
able
the
to
Heat.
get a plus number. So
Yep. I'm with the Heat too.
I think I like the Heat too. I just like Spoelstra, and I think that the Jazz didn't play well in their Florida games this year. They didn't, even though they're there and they're in a bubble. Speaking about a bubble, Spurs and the Nets. Do either of these teams even make the playoffs? Man, I hate the Nets these days. Chris,
No. I'll take the Spurs just because I don't even think the Nets have much of an NBA roster in Florida right now.
Can't
So
stand it.
Exactly.
Why
They're not even trying.
Why bother showing up? Why bother
That's
showing
exactly right.
up? Why bother showing up?
Spurs all the way.
Rod.
oh,
Well, the Spurs are the
easy
kings.
pass.
The Spurs invented load management. This is a horrible game. I mean,
not touching this game with a 10-foot pole. There's
This is-
way better value on the
Yeah.
board. Not touching it.
this is a horrible game. I can't stand the Nets. And the thing is that I haven't always can't stand the Nets. They've been my dog of the day so many times over the years when they were lousy, right? I mean, the thing is that I just don't like Kyrie Irving's comments, especially since he wasn't going to play anyway. And then Kevin Durant, didn't even show up. He's just sitting there collecting money. I mean, this is like, the Nets are a mess. And this is, you want to know why the Nets have never made it to an NBA final? Because you trade your first round draft choices for the next 10 years for for Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce when they're 70 years old. That's why.
That's right.
This Washington Wizards up against the Clippers. Chris.
yeah, the Clippers. I like the Clippers all day here. The Wizards are in the same boat as the Nets.
Rod.
Depends. You might see a double-digit line here, and might have to just take the Wiz just because. And Clips might just rest some people. It feels like a load management day coming on here
Yeah.
for Kawhi. He played last game. He feels like he might play 2 minutes if he's lucky. So I'd be leery about that game today.
Rod, a little offended that the Wizard were invited to the bubble at 24-40.
No, because then we can bet against them. I'm quite happy they're in the bubble.
Yeah, but it's like you can't. The thing is, you can't. what are the lines going to be in those eight games that they get to play?
I
You know,
right?
I mean, these are the guys who backdoor you because they're going to be
Oh,
getting
yeah.
40. Steve,
Yeah.
Yeah, if the line is like a 9 or 10, I think I'd have to go with the Wizards. But their crap is like the Nets are.
it's weird this season because remember Kawhi missed the beginning of the season. Chris Paul missed the beginning of the season. Not Chris Paul, Paul George. I always get them confused. Paul George missed the beginning of the season. The Clippers still played really well. Kawhi missed games. He does the load management. They still play well. The Clippers seem to play well with whoever's they've got on the court. So I just got to think that they're going to be good enough in this one. I think Washington's going through the motions, and they just can't wait to get the hell out of that bubble and collect their paycheck. We got the Pelicans up against the Nuggets in this one, and Zion Williamson obviously not playing yet. Just back in the bubble, under quarantine right now. The Nuggets are a team that I said at the beginning of the season were one of the teams that I thought could, in the playoffs, make some noise. I don't know if they have enough to take out the Lakers or the Clippers in the West, but I think that they're going to take them to they're the team that can take one of those teams to all the way to the limit, all the way to like Game 7, fourth quarter, last 3 minutes type thing. I think the Nuggets have that. Whether or not they can beat LeBron James in that situation or Kawhi, I'm not ready to put my money there yet, but I guess we'll have to see how it all plays out. But I love what the Pelicans have been doing this season. Man, that trade for trading Anthony Davis. When does the team as my friend Fitzy always said, who got the best end of the trade? Whoever got Yager. In this one, it was Anthony Davis who the Lakers got, and so normally the team that gets the best player is the winner. But you got Ingram, you got a lot of draft picks, you got a lot of young guys there. You got Zion Williamson now. I don't know. I think the Pelicans are going to be tough customers, but the Nuggets already are tough customers. The Pels were playing well before Zion got there, too. So I think this is going to be an interesting one. I think it's great that the Pelicans were invited into the bubble because this is something that these guys, this is a really good experience for a young team like this that really is, for them, for the Grizzlies, I mean, teams like the Wizards who, half the guys don't want to be on the team. That's a different story. It's like now they got to live together, But it's like the Pelicans and the Grizzlies where they have these, Ja Morant and Zion and, the next great players. I think this is a great experience for them. Anyways, Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, it's one I need to see the line on, but I'm leading the Pelicans right now. I just like what they did in their opener, and Denver struggled to put the Spurs away, so I'll take a shot with the Pelicans here.
Rod?
Well, Pelicans remind me a little of the Raptors. They're deep. They have lots of bench guys. They have lots of young guys. It's like the Raptors played yesterday, and they didn't even play. They didn't even play a bunch of guys. So,
Steve?
they gotta.
I'm going Denver. I'll take the Nuggets.
I think this is going to be a good one. I think this is going to be a good game. I think this was one I got to wait for the line. I kind of think the Nuggets, but I think this one's really going to be one of those point spread type games. So that's it for NBA basketball. We have UFC tonight. Anything special on this board? It's UFC on ESPN or Fight Night?
That's a UFC on ESPN Plus, I believe.
On ESPN Plus? How's that possible? It's either UFC or that's Fight Night when it's ESPN
Okay,
Plus.
Fight Night. So yeah, okay.
But if it's on ESPN, then it's on ESPN, right? You're the one that taught me this. I mean,
yeah.
I'm just going by the notes of what you told me to say. I'm just Ruffalo's puppet now in the UFC segment.
Let me just make sure it's UFC Fight Night. You're right. UFC Fight Night 174.
Anyone gonna get killed to death in this one?
Well, we saw Kazmat Chimaev about a week ago, and now he's fighting again on short notice. He's fighting Reese McKee, but he's also a minus 1,200 favorite.
Man, is he good? He is good. He is really good. I saw him last week, and I said, this guy's like could fight for a title. But what do I know about UFC? Absolutely nothing. But I saw some names here that I recognize that usually were in bigger fights. A guy like Weirdham, right? We've seen him in big fights throughout his career. Is he just on the decline and he's kind of just holding on, or is he looking to get back to the big boys?
Well, he is on the decline, and you've got Alexander Gustafsson saying that he's going to put him out of the UFC with this fight. So, I believe he said he or one of the guys in the co-main event is going to retire after this fight. I think it's actually Shogun Rua that's going to retire. But yeah, Fabricio Verdum's on the way down, and I think Gustafsson wants to put him there as well. So.
Rod, you got any thoughts on tonight's UFC card? I pity the fool.
It's not my favorite card on this tonight. The one thing I'm going to take Bozer by decision. He should be able to get a plus money there. I think they'll beat each other up. You got Tanner Bozer versus his names Rafael Pessoa. Bozer's just the better fighter. I think this will be a long fight. I think they'll trade some punches, and I think Bozer gets the win here by decision.
Yeah.
It's the only bet I made in tonight's UFC. I'll keep digging. Not my favorite. They got the next couple cards coming up. I like way better than tonight's. UFC coming up in the next couple of weeks. There's some fights I'm looking forward to there.
Yeah. I had to dig. I was able to come up with a 4-fight parlay, only about plus 450. But you got Alex Oliveira on the money line at minus 182, which Peter Sabata hasn't fought in over 2 years. So I'll take Alex Oliveira. I'll take Alexander Gustafsson to win inside the distance. Like I said, I think he puts Verdum down, and he's the better fighter, and Verdum's all the way down the decline. So I'll take Gustafsson inside the distance plus 105. Take Shogun Rua and Antonio Rogerio Nogueira to finish inside the distance at minus 240, and Khamzat Chimaev to win inside the distance. It's unfortunately juiced. It's minus 455, but those four together pay about plus 450.
Rod, anything?
Just that one. That's I no parlays on the UFC for me.
All right, let's wrap her up. Been a very long show. We'll do the which is fine because we got plenty to talk about. I'm excited to be here and have something to talk about instead of sitting here just doing my Burgess Meredith impressions, which after watching Rocky 1 this past week, they're really not that on point. But I just love them anyway. Hit 'em, Rock. Anyways,
I was hoping we'd see some NHL preseason lines, but I don't see any of those out either. So
we will though. We will see those. When does the NHL preseason start? Today?
Tonight, yeah.
Tonight? All right. Well, we'll start covering that at Sports Chat and Pick Dogs.
No, the exhibition games for the preseason or the tournament ones start on Tuesday.
All right. So Tuesday.
Is it Tuesday now?
All right.
The 28th.
Well, that's why we're not seeing lines. Anyways, Chris, what do you got to say for yourself?
It was the 25th. What the hell?
Chris, what do you got to say for yourself?
I'm just going to give out a 4-team round robin for the MLB. Toronto, Miami, Atlanta, and Houston on the run line. The four-way should pay about plus 1850.
All right. Let's bring Rod back.
Ooh.
Rod?
For me, I got a little 3-team birdcage. My best bets are still over on the website, pickdogs.com, sportschatplace.com. Went 2-0 yesterday. Today's birdcage for me, I'm going to go the Indians, minus 2.5, plus 120 there. Give me the Jays, money line, plus 120 there. And give me the Phillies, minus 1.5, plus 105 there. Parlay those three up. And I'm going to go with that.
Steve?
I love Boston in the over today against the Red Sox. I love the Astros in the over today against the Mariners. And I will take the Indians over the Royals to kick their ass too. So that's my 3-team best bets. Overs.
Well, I did videos, parlays, everything today. Did not do the computer pick show, and it's like this show is run really long. So I'll try and do a spread knowledge show. Spread knowledge was 2-0 yesterday. Of course, you can just go to Spread Knowledge, use the discount code Mitch, MITCH, and you can get a 3-day trial for $4.99. And of course, if you use that discount code Mitch, you get an additional 10% off all of your purchases at Spread Knowledge if you get a subscription and everything like that. Of course, we have best bets in our premium area, my best bets from these guys, and other of the world's best handicappers. Got free picks on everything. I'm doing more videos, and tonight I'll be revealing a new look for my YouTube videos. I'm pretty excited about that. Took me about 10 minutes to put together, and it probably took the other guys about 6 months and 10 consultants or something. I did it myself in Final Cut. So you get what you get. But you always get more than you pay for here, because 99% of the stuff we do is 100% free. But anyways, thanks guys for joining me. It's been another great show. Thanks everyone that has joined us for these shows. It's I know we stuck through the whole COVID thing. Hopefully I can stop saying that soon, but it's really cool to see 200 people watching us at a time when we're used to like 30s, from the COVID thing. Because, when you're doing this and you're used to the 500, 600, 700, then all of a sudden you see the 30s. I mean, even me, who's been doing this for a long time and knows that sports, some sports are more popular than others, and you see more traffic on the website during certain times of the year than others. It's still nice to know that everyone always comes back, and I really appreciate everyone that comes and visits us, whether you buy the year package or you never buy anything at all. We just appreciate you, and we're glad you're part of our community. Be sure to join us in our Facebook group. We talk crap all day long. Have a great day, everyone. We will see you on this show tomorrow. Have a great day.
It's good.